Hey, what's up, everyone? Podcast number 7, The Insider. As you guys know, my good friend, Oney Guillen. I'm AJ. Not crazy podcast this week. We're going to hit a couple of different subjects. We're going to talk about the national title game. We finally have a winner. We're also going to talk about who's that coach for Villanova that's doing really well.
Well, he's the best. He's the best. He's the best dressed coach in the NCAA.
You look at that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Who are you talking about?
I saw him, Mr. Wright. I call him Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright, I love that.
I saw him. We used to have tickets to the DePaul games, and you went with me a couple times. And they played in the Big East. And every time this guy would come in, I'm like, you got to look the part. I don't know what if he's a good coach, but he looks the part. Very slick, very smooth, and then you compare him to the guys that DePaul had. These guys don't even have tailored suits or anything. So Mr. Wright's very clean, and obviously, winning 2 NCAA championships in the last 3 years is pretty impressive.
So we'll get into that. A little preview of everything that we're going to go through, some NBA playoffs. I had a bunch of DMs, people saying, man, I really like Oney. I like his stuff, what he talks about.
Was it girls?
There was
both?
No. There was a couple.
Mostly,
yeah.
He's lying, probably.
It's always girls with Oney. We're gonna try a segment called Rapid Fire. I'm gonna ask Oney a couple different things, what he likes, hot dogs, pizza, this, that. So I want to see how you guys like that. We'll do that later on in the show. Let's talk about. Let's just begin to start about the national championship. I feel like we've been talking about for the last 6 months. I know it hasn't been going on that long.
Yeah,
we finally have a champion. We finally have a champion, Villanova. What did you think of the game?
You know what I thought from the beginning, maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes, I remember talking to somebody and said Villanova just looked that much better. Or Michigan, granted they got lucky. I think they got a little lucky getting there. They didn't play any number 1 seeds.
They won every game by double digits.
And coming in, and now Villanova's got Brunson, the player of the year. They got the pedigree. They got everything. They were that much better than Michigan. And you could just, if you saw the game and the DiVincenzo, the kid came out of nowhere.
31 threes. His stock is going through.
And he's a backup. He was a backup. He wasn't even started. He was playing because Brunson got in foul trouble.
Wait, let me stop really quick. This goes back to, I think, maybe podcast 4 or 5. We told you guys.
Seize the moment.
Seize the moment. The biggest stage of his life. He had the biggest game of his life. And he's probably going to make he'll make a lot of millions of dollars next year just by having that one game. So, listen, that goes back to podcast 4 or 5. That stuff that we talk about, it's truthful. But go back to what you were saying.
It's just, he goes in the game, and then all of a sudden I didn't even know, you had seen him play, but he literally got the majority of his opportunity. You're like, wow, this kid's going everywhere. Now everyone's tweeting scouts or guys on TV, this guy's
LeBron. Yeah. LeBron's, he just, and I got that millions of dollars from LeBron. LeBron said, hey, he's about to make millions of dollars from that one game for what he did. You got the greatest player in the world now tweeting about
validation.
You got that validation.
Yeah. That's for sure.
You just played the biggest game of your life, and you came out and you did what you had to do. You're only going to see a lot more blessings from that.
And those guys, it goes back. Those guys have won 2 out of the last 3 NCAA
That's crazy.
titles.
2 out of 3?
Which starts. It doesn't put him, in my opinion, in the Krzyzewski, Roy Williams category, because those guys have been doing it and they've won. They've been in a lot more Final Fours. Those guys have won and been around a long time.
Basically their whole life.
Yeah, basically.
Come on.
I feel like Coach K was born at Duke. No,
he might have been. We're gonna look that up.
Yeah. So this guy, you win multiple national championships. It's not easy with a totally different roster. You start creeping up into that level. If he next year, because Brunson and those guys are seniors.
Yeah.
So some guys are leaving, but Villanova now recruits are going to take care of themselves. You're going to go to that school. Philadelphia is always good basketball product. So those guys expect those guys to be there year in and year out. And Mr. Wright's going to be Mr. Wright's going to be able to afford a lot more suits with all that, because they're probably going to sign him extension, all that stuff. So.
I mean, you just said it. 2 out of 3 national championships. Some people don't win a national championship their entire life. So the fact that you have 2 out of 3, the fact that you're now creating a lot more buzz, not only about your university, not only about your team, but also yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of coaches, they're all about the kids, which is awesome. But we have to take a step back and realize what he did, not only for the kids, not only for himself, but also the university. When you do things like
let me ask you a question going off that, because I know we haven't talked about this, and I always feel like it's important.
Yeah.
How important was it for you, or how important is it for guys going out there to try to play college or even high school?
Yeah.
How important is the head coach?
Oh, I love that. I love that question.
Because a lot of guys,
it's everything.
Because a lot of guys, that will either make you want to go to a place or
it'll make it or break
you
it. Yeah,
off.
I totally agree. And for me, as being a leader, like I've always talked about, I was kind of that second coach. You know what I mean? I was that's how I had to look at it. So I had to have a great relationship with the coach.
So you
and wherever I
at
played.
Whitney and at Central Florida, you had a great relationship with your high school and college coach.
At Whitney Young, Coach Ty was like a second dad to me. I mean, he there was a lot of times when I started getting big head when I was like, oh man, they started getting me here. He's like, listen, just I've dealt with Juwan Howard. I've had some of the best ever.
Right.
You know, you're not. I'm going to make sure you're humble, but in a standpoint of making sure that I didn't slack off, making sure that I did all the right things. I mean,
you probably spend more time with these guys than you actually do your actual father.
That's another thing. People don't realize you're with them every single day, through the good, through the bad,
right.
Constantly. You know what I mean? But for me, like I said, I had a close relationship with every coach I've ever played for, and it hasn't been great at first, but it's about seeing what works for them, what works for me. How can we both win? That's what it's about.
And then you got to Orlando?
Got to Orlando, Coach Spirall, who recruited me there.
Right.
Had a great relationship with him. Was my coach for 2 years. Then Coach Jones, who was at Marshall, which was really weird. I'll be honest with you. I've never talked about this. He came from Marshall, which was our rival school. Like, I mean, not like rival, there was fights.
Yeah.
There was fights.
Yeah.
I used to talk trash to him on the sideline. I'd shoot a three, bump into him. Like, man, none of your players can guard me. So when I found out he was coming to UCF,
you said, I'm done.
I was like, this isn't good. You know what I mean? I was here for 2 years. I built something so special at UCF.
And now I got to prove myself all over again.
I got to prove myself all over to a guy that doesn't even like me, I don't think. You know what I mean? I know he doesn't like me. So for me, I'm like, oh man, what do I do? I just proved myself 2 years. I'm the most popular kid out of 56,000 students. Like, this is the best 2 years of my life. Now I'm going to have to go change.
And you're going into junior year and you got a new coach.
I'm going in my junior year. I'm like, shoot, what do I do now? You know, so as the new coach comes in, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but the new coach comes in and we're talking. I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. I might have to transfer. The new coaches are always going to try and bring their own players.
Of course.
I'm going to tell you guys that right now.
More comfortable
and it goes back to what we talked about. It's a business. You know what I mean? Me being a 5'8" point guard at the Division I level, not a lot of guys see a lot of me. And playing him, he knew. You know what I mean? Okay, I know what he can do. His leadership.
I've seen his skills on the court.
But his point guards aren't usually me. You know what I mean? So it was showing him how hard I worked. You can bring your freshman point guard in that you think is going to take my spot. I'm going to make him look really bad. And that's what it's about. You can bring whoever you want in your transfer. We're a team. Don't get that wrong. But my mindset was everybody was against me.
Did you ever? I had going off the coaches and stuff. We talk about practice. I know. Were practices for you?
Those were my games. Yeah. Practices were my games. Like people,
when you're going, because you do full court, you go like 5-on-5
scrimmage.
You're going full throttle.
I'm fighting. I'm fighting my teammates. I'm fighting my coaches. Not like in a bad way, Sam. But I was so serious about it. I wanted to make sure that we were ready for every game. So if you have one of the guys, oh man, I don't feel that good. I'm not giving 100%. You're losing that. Whether he's the 6 man, whether he's the 8 man, he can come in and affect the game. That's why I tell people I'm on every single person. It's not just me worrying about, oh, hey, Adrian, make sure you do well. No. Hey, Marcus, make sure that you're taking over the shooting guard spot. Make sure you're doing everything that we need to. Dwight, the center, make sure you're rebounding. You got to get, you know what I mean? It's making sure that everybody's on the same page. Practice, I told people, I practice just like the way I play. You know why? Because when that game comes,
it's easy.
It's not exactly.
It's easy.
I've already done this. I've already worked hard. I already did it all in practice.
And you can take that model into anything you do with business or running a bar, running a restaurant. You gotta.
It's great.
Try to.
You froze me off that, but because that's what I did.
Try to take it that same approach and like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go at it. And if anybody, I've been around you a while now.
Oh my gosh,
you approach it. You approach life like you do your games. And I'm gonna go at it full throttle.
I was so lost after college because basketball. From the age of 3 to 23, I don't have it. I'm dead. I'm basically dead. I'm like, what do I do now? No basketball, no nothing. No basketball, all these people
life.
I thought were here are mine. I've never had a job before. What do I do?
Right.
So then people are like, now everyone's like, dude, how are you doing this? How did you become so successful? It wasn't overnight. What you just said, everything I've learned from basketball and the game and leadership and having your whole team win, all I did was translate that to business.
That's it.
I had the people around me that are going to help me succeed, that I can help them.
Yeah, everybody needs somebody.
You got to have that.
Yeah.
And
like
that's
a good support system. Yeah.
Dude, it goes basically, and I don't want to go into it for another 40 minutes because you know how I talk, but I'm telling you, when you realize that, that's when I started having success. When I wanted the people around me that are going to help me, that are going to push me, but I can also push them. And I translate everything I learned from basketball and the leadership and how to treat people and just all that stuff and applied it to everyday life. And
Yeah,
that's
like
where we are
like you
today.
said, like we started talking about Mr. Wright and the NCAA coaches and how having that relationship with coaches is very important.
So big.
And having
So
that,
big.
if you don't have a coach, you know, it could be a parent, it could be a brother, it could be an uncle, it could be somebody that's, you know, that's going to check you and keep your feet grounded.
And a lot, you got to remember the reason why it's so important for players, high school, college, to have a great relationship with their coaches. Like you said, I mean, you guys are both in it for the same thing.
Right.
You look at that person as maybe not a father figure, but a figure that's showing you, hey, this is what you have to do to succeed.
So to recap, it is just basically, guys, I mean, the school's great, but you try to have that good relationship,
You gotta have a good relationship
with that coach that you're
Yes.
going there, because he's going to have your back. He's going to be honest with you. He's not going to lie to you, because a lot of these coaches they blow your head up and they tell you,
you're going to be the best.
amazing, you're amazing.
When you come here, you're going to be the starter.
You're playing.
When you
playing.
get there, you
They're
don't play
lying
at
to
all.
you. Find out how much the recruiting class is bringing in. You got to do your due diligence. Don't just go there because of the shining stars. Go somewhere where the guy's going to be honest with you,
love that, man.
and he's going to tell you,
That's incredible.
this is what it is. So that's the best advice.
I know Oney asked one question. I gave you like 16 answers to that one, but I mean it goes to what you said. You're not just playing for the team. You're playing for someone. You want someone to be able to vouch for you. You want someone, hey, this guy's an incredible worker. I can see him at the next level. He can help your team. You want someone that's going to vouch for you, that's going to have your back when you're trying to take that next step in life.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people get caught up in just that moment right there. Oh, I'm playing for him, this and that. You got to look for the years later.
So and you still have a good relationship with your coaches, like if you saw them right
every single coach I've talked to, and I tell them, I send messages every now and then and say, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
They're like, thank you for what?
Thank
you for being thank you for being a role model. Thank you for being a leader. Thank you for helping me get to where I am today.
You know, for me, I go play baseball and it's different because I'm practicing baseball and I have a head coach. I grew up in baseball. My dad's a manager of a big league team. These guys feel a little intimidated,
of course,
because I know the game. But right away, a high school coach, no coaches could ever say to me like, "Oh, Oney was a problem."
Yeah.
Because I always told them, I say, what my dad does is my dad. So you do what you have to do, and I'll do what I have to do. I have to play. If you ever have a question or ask or want my advice, I'll gladly give it to you. But this is your team.
Do you feel like, since you grew up in the game, do you feel like coaches were they were closer to you, they were more prone to maybe ask you stuff like,
depends,
hey, Oney, you know?
Because my level of knowledge of baseball is ridiculous, because that's literally that was my air. From a baby. You grow up, you go every day, you go to a clubhouse and you see the coaches and you're in those meetings and you hear everything. So I always told them, I was like, look, to me, you guys can ask me anything you guys want. But my father always said, you don't ever disrespect a coach. You don't ever do anything. Of course, you're a player.
Yeah.
Unless they ask your advice, but you practice, you work hard, you do what they say, because there's nothing worse than parents or kids trying to tell a coach how to run a team. And
a person who's getting paid for it, who's trying to help. You got to remember
it's always a coach's fault when your kid's not playing.
I tell them, hey, I'm not playing. Listen, this coach is getting paid. Do you think if you are good enough, he's not going to play you?
Right.
They want to win.
Or
That's
he
the
wants to
ultimate
win.
goal. Right.
No, it's not a personal thing.
It's not a my entire life, I never said, oh, man, the coach is this and that. I've realized the reason I may not be playing, the reason why I may not get in the minutes I want, I'm not playing great. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing what's asked of me. That's what happens.
My dad always did say this, though. He says, because it comes from people that are small. He says, if the smaller you are, the louder you have to be so they see you. So I see you hitting the floor, your energy. Coaches love that.
Dude, that's why I said, I tell people every single day, it wasn't my skill was great. It was because I worked at it every day. But it's the little stuff that really separated myself. Yeah. The reason I was able to earn a scholarship, Division I, the reason I went to one of the top high schools.
Yeah, this guy's loud. This guy's energetic.
This guy's a leader. Yeah. He wants the best for his team. He's the first one on the floor. Like, when I used to come home, I had bruises all over, rips all on my...
Diving for balls in practice.
It was that serious. Yeah. To me, it was my life.
So just... Guys out there, just make sure you guys go somewhere that you like the coach, have a good relationship with them, and be respectful, and go at it full throttle.
And make sure that you guys test it. Just like anything, just because you just met the coach for first week, everything may not go the way you want to. Oh, you know what? I'm going to transfer schools. Relax. Get to know him. See what do you want from me? What do you want me to get better at? What can I help you with as a coach?
It's just different before we go to the next subject. It's just different because once these guys get to college, everybody was the guy at their high school.
and they think they're coming into college.
Because
That's
you go play college baseball, everybody was the guy at their college, and now you're not the guy. It's like you're like the fourth, fifth option.
it's crazy.
But you have to humble yourself and know
It's
that.
and if you don't,
you won't play.
If you don't humble yourself, you'll get humbled.
Yeah, the game.
Either way,
the game will
you
humble
won't play,
you either way.
I
Any
agree with
game will
that.
humble you either way. That's just the way it goes.
I agree with that. We're gonna jump off subject a little bit. I got a little thing I like to call the rapid fire. We're gonna try it. I have some things I'm gonna grab on my phone.
my God.
I'm gonna ask Oney one or the other. He's gonna
Is
answer
everyone
super
seeing
quick.
this? Everyone's seeing this.
Oh yeah, everyone's seen this.
Oh God.
And you guys, I don't want you guys to think it's anything crazy. It's something that we're trying out. We're gonna see how it goes. Just something super quick, and it's gonna be easy. You know, you love doing this. Rapid fire: Cubs or Sox?
Neither.
Hot dog or pizza?
Pizza.
Wrigley or U.S. Cellular, Comiskey Park, whatever you want to call it.
U.S. Cellular.
Bottle of blonde or underground?
Bottle blonde.
Night person or morning?
Night.
$3 million right now or $5,000 a week for the rest of your life?
$5,000 a week for the rest
You
of my
don't know
life.
how long you're going to live, though.
Well, I got a lot of life insurance.
I love it. Blondes or brunettes?
Brunettes.
That was quick.
People have
Jeez.
people have this misconception of me that I like blondes, and I say I don't prefer blondes. They just like me.
They like you.
So I like.
It
I
may
like,
be because you're Spanish. You know, they see
I'm
the good
Latin,
looking.
I'm
Right,
tan.
the
I
tan.
say I like whoever likes me. So,
Bulls or Lakers?
oh, what Lakers?
Kobe or Jordan?
Black Mamba. Black Mamba. Kobe for life.
Hey, he said Black Mamba.
No, Kobe.
One night stands or relationship? We're going to come back to this one.
Wow.
Summer or winter?
Oh, summer.
Corona or Jameson?
Ooh, J-Mo.
Jameson. All right, one night stands or relationship? Just give me a 10-second little briefy thing on that.
Depends on who the one night stand is with.
Okay,
The
rapid
relationship's
fire.
way better.
Rapid fire.
But it
You
might be
heard
it might be J-Lo. Then a one night stand, then I'd be one night stand. So.
So we're gonna go off that one. It depends on how
That
the
was
night's
great.
going, how Oney sees it. Rapid fire with my man Oney Guillen. That was awesome. You like that? We got.
I like it. Whoever came up with this is great.
I
So,
told you, a bunch of people messaged, hey, I
Yeah.
want to learn more about Oney. I want to see what
Yeah.
he's talking about. I want to know what he likes, what he doesn't like. So that was our segment. I want to go into a little bit more, just really quick, couple minutes, nothing crazy. Last week we talked about the NBA playoffs. Starts next week. We got, Cleveland, the Warriors aren't feeling healthy.
You think the Sixers are gonna win
I
round
like.
one?
What is up with you today?
I think
Your brain is
yeah,
like on
I
a
think,
different level.
I think I'm gonna pick whoever Philadelphia faces.
I like them. Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Whoever
Put it
Philadelphia
up.
faces in the first round, especially if Joel Embiid is healthy, because I know he's got a little thing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He's got a little problem in his eye. If he's healthy, I'm picking the Sixers to beat whoever in the first round.
I'm with you.
I haven't even seen who they're facing.
No, I don't.
I'll pick Philadelphia to win.
I think. Listen, they're young, they're active. They got some incredible young
No
talented
one
guys.
expects them to win.
No one expects them to win. You just go out, do your thing, have fun, and it can work out really well, or it can go really bad. Hey, they're young, they've never had experience, and they totally fumble.
And I know that I think it was last night or the night before, Warriors beat Oklahoma with just Draymond and Clay and 2 D-League guys.
When was this?
2 nights ago. They beat Russell
even
Westbrook.
know.
Oh, yeah.
And Russell, everyone was playing?
Everybody was playing. Russell, Carmelo, and Paul George. Paul George said he's got something wrong with his shot or something. The Warriors, if the Warriors don't make it to the NBA Finals, we need to make a bet or something. Because everyone's like, oh, Steph's hurt and this. The Warriors are going to make it to the NBA
I
Finals.
said that. I told
the
somebody,
Warriors are going to make it to the NBA
I
Finals.
said
They're
it.
so worried about their health and all that stuff.
Dude, when you're a team like this, I'm gonna let you finish. But when you're not even a team, when you're an organization like this, you don't care about this. You're waiting for that final. You're waiting for this championship. You've built that program. That's what they're doing. They're waiting for Steph. Everyone's gonna
No
come
rush.
around. Relax.
And
we're
I also
good.
make another statement. I think the Toronto Raptors are a lot better than they've been in years past.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like, and I don't
This
want people.
could be their.
Listen, I feel like they're always great, but for whatever, I don't know.
They're better
I get they remind me of the Rockets. In that
because
playoff.
they always
Right?
fade
You
out.
do, because they talk about the whole season.
Yeah.
The Rockets,
They
Toronto.
got to
they're
kidnap
incredible.
LeBron in Canada.
They need.
like with Drake or somebody. Yeah, they got to
Yeah,
kidnap
totally.
LeBron.
We got a concert. Hey, Drake.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like Space Jam 2.
Exactly.
We put them in. They give them the. They give them
Because
the powers.
I don't. The Raptors have been great all year. I think they're the number 1 seed. and the
They
Celtics,
are. I
the
believe that.
Celtics
I believe
2,
that, yeah.
Cavs 3. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And the last thing before we're done, I'm looking forward to. I don't know what's going to happen with the Spurs and Kawhi if he plays, but I think the Spurs can do something. Maybe not make it to the.
Yeah.
I think they can get to the second round and win a couple games.
Okay, we talked about playoffs quick, briefly, this and that. You just brought up Kawhi. What is going on with that? It's not Pop. It's not. They say it's Kawhi and his friends.
Well,
I'm so
Kawhi has
confused.
Kawhi has his uncle who's acting as his agent. That's supposedly what's coming out of.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
That's what's happened.
That's
you
what's
get those
going on
people involved. You
Now
get people.
the fact that Tony Parker and these guys are if you have a team meeting and
it's
you have your
serious,
own teammates
serious,
calling you out on your seriousness of your injury, and the Spurs are kind of like the Patriots of basketball, kind of like very by the book.
Yeah.
You don't really get a lot of stuff coming out of their camp. But
I'm surprised that this is coming out.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a lot.
They're saying that Kawhi Leonard is cleared to play by the Spurs doctors. Kawhi Leonard is saying, "I'm not ready to play."
It's been a year, though.
Tony Parker, everybody's like, "You're ready to play. Why aren't you playing?" Have we seen the last Kawhi? Kawhi Leonard's a top 5 player in the NBA. Both
Defensively,
ways.
off. Yeah, I
Both
totally
ways.
agree. Totally agree.
Both
Totally
ways.
agree.
So I don't know what's going to happen, or if this means does that put Kawhi in the market this year?
I think so.
Because that changes. If you got LeBron going on the market and then you have Kawhi available, a lot of things can happen. I wouldn't mind seeing Kawhi in that purple and
A
gold.
lot of people are going to be dropping some players that they have to try and
To
get these
get
big
him.
boys. Yeah,
Because
I agree.
Kawhi Leonard, until now, has a pretty good reputation. Kind of like a Tim Duncan kind of guy,
Totally
quiet play.
That's why I was so confused
Yeah.
when I heard this.
So the uncle's involved now. There's money. Don't play. Or they're saying maybe don't play because we're not better than the Rockets or the Spurs. The Rockets and the Warriors. So don't play if we're going to lose
Let's
anyway.
wait.
Let's wait until you're super healthy and then we're better. But I don't know. Maybe we've seen the last of him in the Spurs uniform.
That stuff I hate. I mean, and listen, it's not my contract. It's not that. But I just always in situations that I've seen when you have other people get involved that really. And I'm not saying his uncle could be a father figure, whatever.
Right.
But and when you have those people that are giving their 2 cents and they think this and that. You're going against an organization that's one of the best. You're going against one of the coaches.
Before we get off on that, everybody plays hurt.
Everybody.
But there's a difference between being hurt and injured.
I agree. Totally agree. I've said that.
There's guys out there that need to play. I need to be at 100%.
100. Yeah.
And anybody who's anybody, you're never 100%.
Never.
You're never 100%.
Especially at this point in
Ankle,
the playoffs.
arm,
everything.
finger, anything. Everything bothers
Ankles, my knee, everything.
But there's guys that I'm lacing them up.
You have to.
Michael,
You have
Kobe.
to.
Kobe's on a wheelchair playing.
He broke his Achilles. He's still shooting.
Ligament, all that stuff.
Come on.
Some guys are more available to take pain, and other guys aren't. And that in the locker room, we've all been there. You get that sense like, man, this guy's soft.
See,
But everybody can take it different. Like I'm playing.
Everyone's different.
Like my ankle's wrong. You're out there. I'm taped up.
I can't walk on it, but this guy can run on his. It's completely different of what you can have with pain wise, what you can deal with.
But that's why you out there. You have more respect for guys like, man, this guy is always ready to go.
Oh,
and then there's guys
man.
like, this guy's got a dinged up finger and he's out forever.
He hurt his fingernail while shooting, something like that.
So everybody's out there is different. So I mean, I'm excited to see what happens, and I know next week will be very interesting. I am going to Spain on Friday, so we'll miss out on next week's podcast, but I'll be back refreshed, ready to watch.
You guys just heard it. We're finishing it. Completed podcast number 7. We said, we're going to hit a couple pieces here and there. Oney got me fired up, started asking all these crazy questions that he knows. He knows they fuel me. They take me to another level.
And I didn't know I was going to get invaded. Whoever's out there wants to know so much about me, let me know. Hit me up on the DM.
Hey, we're doing the rapid fire.
No
I think
DMs.
that's going to be something that we're going to start every week.
Very
I really
cool.
like that. It's
Very
different.
cool.
Yeah, add a
like
little flavor to it.
I like it. I like that.
Podcast number 7. Podcast number 8, we might do in Spain. I won't be there with Oney. Maybe we'll do it over the phone. Like, give me a little insight. But man, we appreciate you guys so much tuning in, giving us feedback. I love it, and I know my man Oney does too.
Yes, keep it coming. I know that you guys out there have always, even if it's the other day, I got some constructive criticism that was really great.
Love
We're just out here trying to inspire you guys and have a good time. So
I told you guys heard just from this podcast stuff that we talked about before in the other podcast. That's happening. That's true. That it's everything we want to do. We want you guys to benefit. We want to grow with you guys, and whatever it is, just keep sending our ways. And hopefully we'll get another podcast in Spain. If not, we'll see you